Texas A&M, who lost to Oak State over the weekend. Well, if those two play again, it'll be a non-conference game. The Aggies officially welcomed by the SEC as the 13th member of the Southeastern Conference. Here's SEC Commissioner Mike Slive.
On September 5, we received an application from Texas A&M from the president for acceptance as the 13th member of the Southeastern Conference. This past Friday, the SEC's presidents and chancellors voted unanimously to unconditionally accept that application. Texas A&M becomes the third new member of the SEC in its storied 78-year history. So Aggieland, on behalf of our presidents, as Dr. Matson said, and our chancellors, our athletic directors, our coaches, our students and fans, we officially welcome Texas A&M to the Southeastern Conference.
So that'll start next season. Texas A&M will be a part of the SEC. Since you played in the SEC, A&M, good fit in the conference?
You know, we'll find out. They haven't had a victory.
You sound just excited.
Oh, my God. Hey, look.
I'll be more positive when he finishes.
I'm going to be honest with you. To me, it's already a competitive enough league, and we can talk about the run of national champions and the balance in the West Division, as difficult as it is. Obviously, they're going to have to add another team eventually. I don't know. Maybe they won't do it this first year. But to me, you go and get Texas A&M. You know, it's been 16 years since they got a conference victory over them. I think it's apropos that they're playing Arkansas, who was the last edition back in '91. So they'll get a little taste of what that league play will be like. Obviously, they'll share that division with them in the West eventually.
A&M and Arkansas, they both used to play in the old Southwestern Conference. Yeah. They'll be future rivals once again in the SEC as of next season. They're playing this week. Let's talk a little bit about that game. Arkansas and A&M both coming off a loss. Danny, I'll start with you. How do you see it sizing up?
You know, the way Texas A&M lost, you know, blowing a 20-3 lead, it's the type of game that really you look at some type of hangover effect, and you're worried about that as coach, getting your guys ready to play. You look at Arkansas, you know, I think a lot of people would have been shocked if they would have beat Alabama, so they're in a much better position, I think, from a mental standpoint and athletically. I think Arkansas has more athletes on their side of the ball and probably the best wide receiving core in the country.
Well, who's going to make a concerted effort to run the football? You know, Arkansas on the road mustered 17 yards, I believe, on 19 carries versus Alabama last week. And, Pat, you were at this matchup last week versus Oklahoma State. Texas A&M didn't even attempt to run the football in the second half, and essentially that's all they had to do to win the game versus Oklahoma State. So who can run the football in this matchup this weekend?
That's the big problem I saw from Texas A&M is they just abandoned that with two stud running backs, Cyrus Gray and Christian Michael. I mean, those guys can run. They did not run the ball in consecutive plays. Once in the second half, they attempted 8 runs to 26 passes. They gave away the lead and gave away any chance to protect the lead and burn some clock.
I got some concerns, though, about Arkansas's defense right now. They're without Jake Beckett. He's missed a couple of games. It must be a pretty severe hamstring injury. They lose the other defensive end, Tenarius Wright. So it's not like they're full strength up front. And you talk about A&M, maybe they learned their lesson when they say, look, we can ground and pound against these guys perhaps. The last thing you want is to have Arkansas with a lot of offensive possession.
And A&M's got to ground and pound because of the fact that they need to give that defense a little bit of a rest. I mean, that's what happened in the second half. You look at the second half, they dominate the first. Second half, they lose momentum because of the fact that they're not using up the clock.
Arkansas has very little depth with those injuries behind them. A true freshman and a true sophomore backing up the defensive lineman and the linebacker.
Pete, Texas A&M and Arkansas, two teams trying to bounce back from a loss. Who do you like?
And I think, unfortunately for Arkansas right now, I think their bruised ego, it's a problem. A&M, I think, comes out on top.
All right, 12 noon on ESPN. Very interesting game here as it's Arkansas and Texas A&M. And, Coach, both teams are coming off of very disappointing losses just last week. Take your pick.
I love A&M. I think A&M's a balanced football team. They can run the football. They can throw the football. You look at Ryan Tannehill, the quarterback. They also have a running back named Cyrus Gray. And I think the one thing that's underestimated is A&M's a good defense football team. They did not show it the second half against Oklahoma State, but they only lost by 1 point.
Whoa, Pig Suey, didn't you coach at Arkansas at one time? How could you do this to the Razorbacks? They defeated them 2 consecutive times, and you know Texas A&M hasn't beaten a team from the SEC since 1995. I'm going with Tyler Wilson. I'm going with the wide receivers. I'm going with the Razorbacks. I've got loyalty.
I love the Hogs. I really wanted to pick them. That's why I'm 17-4. That's why you're so far down. You got to stand on tiptoes to touch bottom.
And, of course, that game can be seen on ESPN from Cowboys Stadium in Dallas, so won't that be interesting?
Future SEC rivals matchup today in Arlington last week. An absolute collapse for the Aggies in the second half versus Oklahoma State. Ryan Tannehill threw 3 interceptions. The Aggies just couldn't stop the Pokes, who put 27 second-half points and round to a 30-29 win. And, of course, Arkansas, I think, David, you mentioned Tyler Wilson still in an ice bath.
Oh, yeah. He's up to the
after
neck.
that beating.
Oh.
Here's a look at some of the injury updates coming out of today's matchup in Dallas. Which one sticks out to you, the biggest blow maybe to both of these teams?
Jake Beckett and Tenarius Wright both out. That's both starting defensive ends for Arkansas.
All right, that game at noon on ESPN. Here's Shelley Smith with Bobby Petrino.
Coach, how has your team responded to the loss from last week?
Well, I think we've done a nice job. You know, our work ethic was very good all throughout the week. Our guys are really pushing and grinding and trying to get better. And then the attitude and leadership has really shown up from our older players.
What will you do to try to get the running game going and still be able to give your quarterback time to throw?
Well, I think they work together. We have to get the running game going to put pressure on the defense, and that allows you to protect the quarterback better. Call more running plays will help a lot, but have success on first and second down running the ball.
This will be the matchup to look for in years to come. How do you think about that going into this?
I'm really excited about it. I'm happy with Texas A&M joining the conference. They add a lot to us. It'll help us in our exposure here in the state of Texas, where we're always going to recruit.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Keep trying to forget about it from last week. Texas A&M and Arkansas in Arlington. What do you got?
I think Arkansas is going to bounce back. And you look at A&M, both of them coming off bad losses from a week before. Tyler Wilson and Bobby Petrino, you know what I trust is their offense. They're going to put up points. So I think they come to this matchup and they expose Texas A&M's defense again. They put up enough points.
I agree. They both come off terrible losses. But listen, if one of these teams lose today and one of them will, it may put their season in a spiral. I think it's going to be Texas A&M who's going to win. I like the Aggies. I think Ryan Tannehill is going to come through. But it's going to be a tough one at neutral site.
He's got to bounce back. You know? 3 picks last week in the second half.
I'm Shelley Smith at Arkansas, Texas A&M. The game is here at Dallas Cowboys Stadium and pits 2 teams each trying to recover from blowout losses. Arkansas lost to Alabama, and A&M lost a 1-point game to Oklahoma State in what just seemed like a blowout loss because they were up 20-3 at halftime. Arkansas coach Bobby Petrino said he had some tough decisions to make this week regarding player personnel and strategy and trying to figure out how they gained just 17 yards rushing on 19 carries behind an offensive line with 3 new starters. A&M coach Mike Sherman said he had no idea his team would have that kind of meltdown against Oklahoma State, saying the SEC talk had nothing to do with his team. But with this matchup soon to be a staple in that conference, hopes on Saturday that it will have an effect.
12 noon on ESPN. It will be Arkansas and Texas A&M. Interesting, Coach. Both teams are coming off of tough losses. Take your pick.
I hate to pick against Arkansas because I coached there and I love the Hogs, but I have to go with A&M for a couple reasons. Number one, they are two-dimensional. They have Cyrus Gray, an outstanding running back. They have Ryan Tannehill. They lost by 1 point to Oklahoma State, disappointing loss. Even though they haven't beaten Arkansas in an awful long time, I do believe they will find a way to win this game.
Haven't beaten Arkansas in an awful long time. They haven't beaten a team from the SEC since 1995, and that's why I'm going with Arkansas. A big rebound from last week's poor performance at Alabama. I think right now when you're looking at Tyler Wilson at the quarterback position and the wide receivers that they have, they will be able to put points on the board against Texas A&M. And remember, this Texas A&M defense is supposed to be so great at getting to the quarterback. Yes, they're good, but they gave up 285 yards in the second half passing against Oklahoma State last week.
That's hard to do.
That is hard to do.
Second, but what is something that you need to know about today's slate? It's a preview of SEC life for the Aggies. I need to know if A&M's defense can bounce back. They had a 20-3 lead over the Pokes last week, let it get away. The defense was worn out mentally and physically in the second half. Now here comes all those Arkansas weapons. It's a neutral field game. Hogs have gotten them big time the last couple of years. Let's see if A&M can bounce back. The Hogs limp in to Dallas. Both these teams, Arkansas and Texas A&M, coming off deflating losses. Who will bounce back in a big way? That kickoff at noon. David Pollack earlier picked the Badgers, rejoined us here as we count down to kickoff in Arlington. The game that follows us at noon Eastern time is an important game for both A&M and Arkansas. They had deflating losses a week ago. And Ryan Tannehill, they seem to have things in control at home against the Pokes, up 20-3. Then the turnover trauma in the second half. They couldn't stop Oklahoma State in that one. Can they bounce back?
Yeah, they can. I mean, Ryan Tannehill is going to be huge. He had 3 second-half interceptions a week ago. He's particularly taken care of the football throughout his career, and he's going to be looking for his big play wide receiver in Jeff Fuller. This guy's a mismatch nightmare on the outside. He's going to have to come up bigger than he did a week ago if they want to beat Arkansas, but a big player on the outside that has to contribute today.
Yeah, Tannehill and Fuller are important, but of course it's about balance. Anytime you face an SEC defense, a defense that can fly, Cyrus Gray, Christian Michael are going to have to play a big part in the Aggies' attack today to take some of that pressure off of obvious passing situations for Tannehill.
A&M fans eager to see how they'll stack up against the future conference brethren in the SEC. Can they stop Joe Adams? They've been a little shaky against the pass.
Yeah, they have, especially last week in the second half, but he's quick. Also, the punt return game, Joe Adams can play a key factor, but Greg Childs coming back fully healthy. You see his season, he hasn't done a lot this year, but he's an explosive playmaker that needs to come through today.
I think Tyler Wilson has a chance to have a huge game. Chris, you talked about A&M and how they've struggled at times defending the pass. It's because it's high risk and low reward, because they bring a lot of pressure, and a lot of times they keep there's a lot of open spots in the zone that they want to try to attack underneath, and I think that's what A&M's going to have to guard against today. Tyler Wilson has a chance to throw the ball underneath and hit some big plays in a passing game.
You guys told me you're not going to miss Niall Davis as a running back. They couldn't run the ball at all.
Nope.
Against Alabama.
They didn't even try.
Against who?
Alabama.
But you got to get a little something.
Okay. Well, there'll be a little something today.
Yeah.
They're not Alabama. Not Alabama.
A&M determined to avoid the same kind of midseason slide they had a year ago.
A&M wins this game by a field goal and a safety.
And
field goal. And a safety.
Okay.
5. All right, what do you got?
I don't think they win by a field goal and a safety. I think Arkansas is going to win this game. Okay. They've got some adversity. I mean, Jake Beckett's out. Both defensive ends, starting defensive ends, are out. But I know Bobby Petrino can coach offense. And if I'm looking at this defense a week ago from A&M, there's some severe holes. When they try to blitz, they'll take advantage. I think Arkansas scores enough
I like
points.
Arkansas as well, and I think that's the difference. I think Tyler Wilson, along with Bobby Petrino with the X's and O's, is going to come up with a plan to attack underneath. Wilson has a big day, and Arkansas
wins. Is he still standing after last week? Because he got hit in the mouth.
He iced him down. He's ready to roll.
We'll see if Broderick Green, the guy who transferred from SC, he's going to dress today, which is a surprise for Arkansas.
Needs something
in the
back
running
there.
game.
Wingo, they got some guys.
They did, yeah, okay.
As long as Alabama's not on the other side, life is good.
It's much better.
You saw the shots on Dallas, countdown to kickoff. Arkansas and A&M there.
I think A&M is going to be very, very angry this game. I like to go with an angry team. I think they're going to be very, very upset.
Good pick, good analysis by a field goal and a safety.
No. A field goal, safety, extra points, whatever you want. Just get it to 5, right? I like Texas A&M to lose to Arkansas. I think Tyler Wilson has a big day throwing the football in the Cowboys stadium there. It looked like an NFL quarterback.
I always say this to a guest. You're a smart guy when you agree with him. He'll turn on you instantly. Quickly. Let's see if it happens right here.
Elected to receive. Randy Bullock will boot it deep to Dennis Johnson and Marquell Wade, who has a kick return for a touchdown this year. It'll be Johnson. He muffs and then scoops it up and runs to the 15 and knocked down at the 16-yard line. Michael spinning away from a defender, and they're down 14-0 midway through the first quarter until he was called upon to start, led them to 5 straight wins. And he's going downtown here into coverage, though, and it's intercepted inside the 15-yard line by Greg Gatson.
Fuller, if you can't go make a play defense, go knock the ball down, even get a PI. I
agree.
There's nothing wrong with taking that shot, but that receiver's got to go help that quarterback.
Yeah, he was slow to react to the football, and as a quarterback, the same thing off the corner, running the blitz, and they're all running it to the short side of the field. You have to recognize and get rid of the football.
Wilson out of trouble on 2nd and 17, finds Jarius Wright. Another first down catch by Wright. A&M rushing 4, and Wilson going deep right is wide open. Touchdown, Arkansas! 68 yards. And facing a 1st and 15 here. The blitz is picked up as a defender is upended. Wilson gets out of the pocket and picks up a couple of yards. It was Sean Porter who got leveled by the back.
Yeah, they're bringing good. They're getting pressure with 4 men. By Dennis Johnson, you see him throw the flip on Porter.
Wilson stepping up. Wide open is right in the middle of the defense. down to the 19 for 25 yards.
A split safety look. That means two safeties. The middle linebacker has to run with number 4 down the field in the zone because the safeties were deep behind him. Anytime you have two safeties split, the Mike linebacker has to run with the third receiver. Same play.
And again, right, wide open, diving. Kiero Small, the fullback. He's in there to block for 250-pound tailback Broderick Green. And Green will walk in. Good block by Small. And it's a touchdown for Arkansas. And it's 28-17. Texas A&M, 2nd and 6. It's Gray trying to find a hole. So free play that he paid for with the hit because it was an offside. Breaking a tackle is Kobe Hamilton. And knocked out by Hunter inside the 20-yard line.
Darius Wright, one-on-one.
Still they'll run the ball. And there's a lane. Breaking a tackle is Wingo. And down to the 15-yard line. That's his long so far in the year. Made a 26-yarder earlier and puts this one through. So 2-possession game, 35-20. Texas A&M leads. Back to throw on 3rd and 3. And it's caught again by Gregg, who's loose. Did not go out of bounds.
Between number 1, Trent Hunter. Good coverage, but if you're going to go around, you better make sure you knock that ball down because you're not going to secure the tackle.
Wilson steps up, dumps it off to Wingo, is wide open inside the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas! Got the ball inside the pylon before he went out of bounds. It's a touchdown. Texas A&M leads Arkansas by 8. Razorbacks have the football. They've thrown for over 400 yards, right with a school record. Wilson to throw from his goal line. And open man at the 35-yard line is Johnson. Out to the 40. That's a 31-yard gain. First down, Arkansas.
It's a wheel route by Dennis Johnson coming out of the backfield, down the sidelines, and has a linebacker or an underneath cover.
Instead to be a draw play. Johnson's got running room. First down inside the A&M 45, down to the 40.
His accuracy is unbelievable tonight.
Wilson, open as Johnson out of the backfield, takes on the defender and wins.
Is displacing the defense line of A&M.
Wilson, it's complete to Hamilton inside the 10-yard line. He lost the ball, rolling around on the goal line, and Arkansas's got it. Arkansas, it appeared, had it, which would be a touchdown. It's a touchdown. Jarius Wright got to the football and covers it up.
He goes for 2 on this play, by the way. You see the replay right here. The ball's fumbled forward, but why not? Jarius Wright covering the football. He's made plays all day. He's hustling to the play, following the play. Nice job of punching the ball out by Lionel Smith. But Jarius Wright, who's had a day, maybe a career day, an all-hog day, but I like going for 2, absolutely.
And what's the call here, going for 2?
A little swing pass going out to the left.
Arkansas looking to tie the game. Wilson will keep it. Nobody expected that. And we've got a brand new game at the 11-minute mark.
Going to the Urban Meyer playbook.
It's Michael again. Patient. And then wrapped up. First down at the 14. Play action. Looking to throw. Dumping it off to Swope, in trouble. And cannot get back to the original line. Tannehill will run. And he's wrapped up short of the first down. Brought down by Eric Bennett. The 4th down. Coach, what are you doing? That's low snap. The kick is good.
That's oftentimes a run-pass key because he's lined up closer to the quarterback on pass downs.
Draw play, Johnson hit at the 15, bounces off the tackle attempt by Hunter and gets 8 yards down to the 11. Wilson, it's caught by Wright, stood up at the 2
Right behind the big fullback.
They will. Here's Green. Touchdown! Arkansas retakes the lead. It was all Texas A&M in the first half. Arkansas has dominated the second half. They go 5 wide. Tannehill 3rd and 10. And he will run and gets good yardage. Knocked out of bounds at the 39. So about a yard and a half short of the first down. Ross Rassner made the stop. They got Michael in the backfield. 4th down and 2, and they will run it. And Michael is not going to get there. Slam down, and Arkansas will take over on downs. D.D. Jones, the first man there for the Razorbacks.
Along with Jerry Franklin from his middle linebacker spot, stepping up and filling a hole.
What did you think of the call?
I would have spread them out and let your senior quarterback run that read option. But they've had a lot of success giving it to the big back.
See number 92 Jones not getting cut off, getting his body across the bow. Jerry Franklin getting off blocks.
Here's Green. He'll get the first down. That'll do it. And Mike Sherman knows it. Terrific comeback by Tyler Wilson and Arkansas. Huge win for the Razorbacks, 42-38.